Hello, my name is Brene Williams, and today we are going to be discussing effective communication, specifically when it comes to higher education. There are different methods that one may use in order to communicate with their audience. The first one is deliberately planned communication, so like a written speech or something that you use that was planned before you communicate. We also have face-to-face or virtual communication, which sometimes is planned and sometimes is not. We also have written communication, video or verbal communication, and digital or non-digital communication. People use communication in all different types of fields, but like I said, we are focusing today directly on higher education. Questions that you want to consider before you communicate with your audience, if you have time, is what are your key reasons for communicating with your audience? Number 2, what are your main ideas or key messages that you would like to convey to your audience? Number 3, how do you ensure that your key messages are communicating clearly and consistently with your audience? Number 4, when did you last review your communication strategies? Number 5, what feedback on them do you need? External feedback is always helpful in improving communication skills. Listening skills are also required in order to effectively communicate with your audience. Body language, moods, and actions convey powerful messages. So you want to make sure that you know what you are doing when you get ready to communicate with your audience. So there are, like I said, different ways in which we communicate. Phone calls and emails are very commonly used in communication. You have to ensure that you have an enthusiastic phone voice if you are communicating via telephone. Use time management skills by setting aside time to answer phone calls, make phone calls, or to send emails. Doing that allows you to effectively create these conversations and make sure that you are communicating effectively. You also want to ensure that the tone of your email is positive, straight to the point, and you want to refrain from using emotionally charged language. Then we also have face-to-face communication. Always listen carefully. Listening is something that is extremely difficult for many people to do, but when you are communicating in a higher educational facility, you have to make sure that you listen carefully to your audience. Try not to interrupt. You would not want to be interrupted if you were speaking. Don't interrupt others. Also, appreciate critics and make sure that you are thankful. Everyone is not going to agree with your thoughts. You want to make sure that you listen to what other people have to say. Treat each conversation as crucial. You want to make sure that you listen, you take notes, and that you are responsive to your staff, faculty, or your students. Also, don't become defensive. Remember that these conversations have to occur on a professional level. You cannot act as though these conversations are inflicted personally upon you, because these are to better your institution. Difficulties and or barriers in communication are focusing on a personal agenda. We all have a personal agenda, and we tend to take that into a meeting, a conversation, or however we are communicating with our staff. Also, experiencing information overload. This is why you want to take notes, to ensure that you remember everything that was said and you address all of the issues that may come to pass. 1 or 2 ways to de-escalate a situation is focusing on the issue, not the person, and being flexible towards the opinions of others. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something about effective communication. Goodbye. Thank you.